The kitchen was clean this morning. You're almost sure of it. But now there's a cup left on the counter, a jacket draped over a chair, a bag dropped by the door because there was no time to deal with it. And you walk past all of it, too tired to fix any of it, knowing it will still be there tomorrow. This is the part no one talks about, not the big chaos, the small, steady accumulation. The way a home that was organized on Sunday starts to unravel by Tuesday, not from carelessness, but from life, from work, from errands, from arriving home at a time when there is nothing left to give. And somewhere along the way, keeping the house organized stopped feeling like a skill and started feeling like a personal failing. Maybe you've tried the bins, the labels, a new planner, a reorganization that took an entire Saturday and felt for a few days like it had finally worked. And then, slowly, everything returned to where it was before. Not because you're disorganized, but because the system you were using was never designed for a life as full as yours. There is a different way to think about this. Japanese homes are not organized by effort. They are organized by design, by something quiet and systematic that removes the need for daily decisions about where things go, what needs to be done, and where to begin. This video is about that design, about a principle so foundational to Japanese home culture that it changes the relationship between you and your home entirely. Stay until the end, because the last habit is the one that makes everything else possible, and it takes almost no time at all. In Japanese workplace philosophy, there is a system known as 5S. Most people associate it with factories or offices. But its fourth principle, Seiketsu, has always lived quietly inside Japanese homes too. Seiketsu means standardization, not the rigid kind. The kind that says, this is where this lives. This is what we do at this time. This is the small sequence that preserves what we've built. Seiketsu doesn't ask for effort, it asks for agreement. You and your home decide together how things will work, and then you stop deciding again. The first thing Seiketsu changes is where objects live. In most homes, things end up wherever they were last used. The keys go on the counter because that's where the hands were empty. The remote lands on the couch because no one walked to the shelf. Over time, nothing has a true home. And every day begins with a small, invisible search. Where did I put that? Where is the thing I need right now? Japanese homes operate on a principle called Ichigo, Ichijo, one item, one place. Every object has an assigned location, not a general zone, not somewhere in the kitchen. A specific, fixed spot. And returning something to its place becomes automatic. The way turning off a light when you leave a room becomes automatic. You stop thinking about it. You just do it. Think about one object that lives somewhere different every day. Maybe a charger, maybe a pair of scissors, maybe your keys. Give it a fixed home today, somewhere that makes sense for how you actually move through your space, and notice what happens over the next week. The second thing Seiketsu changes is the daily reset. Most homes get cleaned, Japanese homes get closed. There is a difference. Cleaning is reactive. It happens when something becomes too much to ignore. Closing is proactive. It is a sequence that runs at the end of each day, predictably, efficiently, without requiring any decisions. The closing sequence takes different forms in different homes, but the principle is the same. A short, consistent set of actions that returns the home to baseline before sleep. Dishes clear, surfaces wiped. Things return to where they belong. Not a deep clean, a closing. 5 or 10 minutes, done the same way in the same order every night. What makes it powerful isn't what it cleans. It's what it removes from tomorrow. When you don't close at night, tomorrow begins with yesterday's residue. And a home that starts the day already behind creates a subtle but constant pressure that drains energy long before the first difficult moment. If it would help to have a tool that removes the guesswork from this kind of daily practice, there is something worth knowing about in the first pinned comment. It's called Cozy Home Builder. Answer a few questions, get a personalized home plan in seconds. built around your available time, your energy, and what your home needs each day. The third thing Seketsu changes is the shopping pattern. One of the quietest sources of home chaos is what comes through the door. New objects, new purchases, new storage solutions bought in the hope that they will finally fix what isn't working. The bins, the baskets, the drawer organizers that organize nothing because the real problem was never storage. It was volume. A standardized home runs on what some Japanese households call a Kanban approach at the domestic scale. You replenish what was used. You bring in what has a known home. You don't accumulate. The rhythm of what enters the house becomes as predictable as the rhythm of what gets cleaned. Not rigid, intentional. This shifts the relationship with shopping from reactive to deliberate, and it prevents the slow drift of accumulation that turns an organized home into an overwhelmed one. The fourth principle is what the Japanese call shime, closing the loop. Every open loop in a home takes up space in the mind. The bill that hasn't been filed, the bag that hasn't been unpacked, the pile on the table that is not quite trash and not quite anything else. Each one sits in peripheral awareness, never fully forgotten, never fully resolved. Seketsu applied here looks like small, consistent completions. Not doing everything at once, not waiting for the perfect time. Just a daily practice of closing one open loop before it becomes three. A designated spot for incoming items that haven't found their place yet. A weekly 10 minutes to clear what collected during the week. The home doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be finished at the end of the day. There's a quiet difference between those two things. A home that runs on standardized systems doesn't ask for more energy. It gives energy back. And that's what this was really about. Not organization as a chore, not a spotless home as a performance, but the deep practical relief of living in a space that doesn't require constant management. A space where you can arrive tired and still find everything exactly where it should be. Where the morning doesn't begin with searching. Where the evening doesn't end with overwhelm. The peace that Japanese minimalism points toward is not aesthetic. It is functional. It comes from removing the invisible daily friction of a home that asks too many questions. If something in this video landed for you, there is a tool in the first pinned comment that was built around exactly this kind of thinking. It's called Cozy Home Builder, and it was designed for the specific reality of a full life. It asks a few questions about your day, your available time, your energy level, and what your home actually needs right now. And then it builds a personalized action plan for that specific day. Not a generic routine, a real plan adapted to today. It also includes the Home Maintenance Tracker, a complete planner that breaks household tasks into daily, weekly, monthly, and seasonal rhythms. So nothing accumulates to the point of exhaustion, and no day ever becomes an emergency cleaning day again. The two things you stop feeling when you use it regularly: the paralysis of not knowing where to begin, and the guilt of a routine that wasn't built for your life in the first place. What you start to feel instead is simpler. You come home, you know what to do, and then you rest. Find it in the first pinned comment. A peaceful home doesn't happen by trying harder. It happens by designing smarter.